This begins our trip to the Cayman Islands. We left on August the 14th and we returned on August the 19th. Had a great time. Taylor got to sleep in a Murphy bed. That was quite an experience. Had a nice condominium. It had 2 king beds and 2 Murphy beds in it. You get some idea of the way it looks outside of our window. We had a great view of the ocean, looking out toward the northeast end of the Caymans. One of the ironic things was all the seaweed on the beach, and they had guys, and that's all they did was clean the seaweed. So every morning when we got up to walk to breakfast, there'd be people working on the plants, especially cleaning up the seaweed along the side. This is inside the breakfast room. We had free breakfasts. We had it all inclusive, and so we were able to eat every morning for breakfast. One of our favorite times was getting together. The Reef Resort's a great place, beautiful timeshare. We didn't stay in the timeshare component. They also have condominiums. You can get an idea of what the beach looks like. And in this particular slide, you can see the seaweed that's being cleaned up. Little tiki huts everywhere with chairs provided for you. There's a shot of all 4 of us sitting out. And beautiful white coral sand every place on the Caymans. It was beautiful. Looking out across the walkout pier, there's a picnic table out there. There are fish right underneath there. We had a good time watching all the different tropical fish. This is one of our favorite spots, and that's the bar there at the Reef Resort. The all-inclusive included all the drinks you could have, and it was really nice. We got to know the bartenders on a first-name basis. They had tennis courts, they had pool tables, they had a lot of activities, and of course, unbelievable tropical plants everywhere. And the foliage is just beautiful. This time of year, they catch a rain about once a day, so everything had tons and tons and tons of water. This was the back of the resort. And there's Mr. Hollywood with his fake smile looking at us. We like this tiki hut. This is actually the dining room, and it's on the sand, and so you actually eat in the sand. This is Boris, one of our favorite waiters that we had. And there's the 4 of us sitting out having a beverage of choice, cooling off a little bit. Here's Paula, Taylor, and Landry fixing to go make t-shirts. One of the activities they had were t-shirts while Daddy sat and visited with the bartender. They were plain white t-shirts, and the kids and Paula got to tie-dye those shirts. Here they are doing the actual tie-dyeing. You can see Paula in the middle with the black sarong on. And here's the results of her shirt. She had a real pretty one. Here's a close-up of it. Had to go do them in vinegar to get the colors to set. Here's Taylor and Landry bringing theirs around the corner after they had tie-dyed it. And here's a picture of them together. There's a picture of Paula looking out over the ocean. This is looking out of our balcony, going down towards the... here's a picture of Landry talking to the tattoo artist about getting a temporary tattoo. I loved all their signs. Their signs were pretty good. They pointed the way well. You can get an idea of what it looks like down the Reef Resort's walkway. More beverage of choice. As hot as it was, we did a lot of the beverage of choice. Full concierge for you. Had a gym. Just had everything you needed. Oops, here's Mr. Hollywood again, giving us one of his patented poses. We just loved this tiki area. This really was a wonderful place to eat lunch and dinner. And even at night, the Reef Resort's all lit up and pretty, and the piers are lit. And here we are on Caribbean barbecue night, enjoying some of the Caribbean barbecue. And here's where we went to the turtle farm. Here's Taylor and Landry in front of the sign. And here's Paula, Taylor, and I in front of the Cayman Turtle Farm sign. And this is inside of the turtle farm as Landry and Taylor walked up to the big breeding pen. And there are some examples of some of the breeding sea turtles. 3,800 turtles in this pen. And they lay eggs, and the eggs are harvested, and then they grow the turtles. And the turtles, unfortunately, some are released and some are grown for turtle meat. We had a good time walking through and seeing how they processed all of the turtles. And here's a picture of Taylor, Landry, and Paula as they watch the turtles in the breeding pen. In the background there, you see the sand where the turtles would climb up and lay the eggs. And they were getting out and actually letting us hold all of the turtles. Here's Landry holding the baby turtle. At first she was kind of scared of it, but after she held it a little while, you can see she was smiling as she walked back to let everybody else look at the turtle. It was kind of cool. Here she is shushing the little thing as it started flapping its wings. And there they are holding those baby turtles. And here's Paula getting to pet the turtle too. It was kind of neat. Here's a little bit bigger one, and they let you handle those. Those were a little heavy. They weighed about 20 pounds. And this is one of the 1-year-old turtle pens where they take the babies and put them in and start to grow them. And here's Landry getting to hold a baby turtle that had just been hatched. It was one of the big things that she wanted to do while she was there, was to see turtles, and so she got to see them in all their grand glory. There's Paula getting to pet the baby turtle too. Taylor doing the same. And Taylor with his coconut drink. He wanted one so bad, and so they were making them right there at the turtle farm. And we got into some rain as this is looking outside the turtle farm across the ocean. And it was raining pretty good. You can get an idea of the storms coming in. This is the picture of Sir Turtle as you get to the turtle farm. And this didn't come out quite right. This is supposed to be Taylor and Landry in a cutout of Prince William and his wife. One of our favorite spots was the Guy Harvey store. We stopped and bought a lot of souvenirs. This is Georgetown. This is the tourist area. This is the area where the boats come in. We stopped at a restaurant to have lunch and took these pictures. This is, again, we're back now at the Cayman, at the Reef Resort, looking out across the ocean. You can see the coral, you can see the grass. And we had absolutely pristine snorkeling while we were there. It's beautiful. Again, another shot looking down at the resort that was next door to the Reef Resort. Was more of an adult area. Here is Taylor going out on the paddle boat with Apollo, our Jamaican local resident water guy. And he was teaching Taylor how to use the paddle board, and Taylor actually managed to do pretty well with it. He only fell 5,000 times. It's a lot harder than it looks to stand up and paddle your way across a surfboard, but he managed to do pretty good. Apollo, we got to like him pretty well. He was quite a character, and I think he kind of liked Taylor. Here's a few shots of him getting up and on the board and heading out. And getting a little bit tipsy. First few times it took him a while to figure it out. And once he would get going, he'd get going pretty good. In a few minutes he's going to stand up and be able to paddle, but it took a while. There's Apollo. I forgot what he was saying to him. I'm sure it was something of Jamaican wisdom, quoting something from Bob Marley. And here's Taylor as he gets out toward, he's about 30 feet offshore. He's going to get out there. He's only in about 2 feet of water, so he's going to get out there a little bit further, and he finally manages to stand up. No waves. And he, ever so often, a little swell would hit, and he'd fall off and have to get back on again. But he got that little problem fixed and figured out fairly quickly, and it wasn't too long that he was the master of the paddleboard. And he was able to go out and come back and turn around and do all those things that you need to do, I guess, when you're on a paddleboard. He was exhausted. Yeah, after coming in, it really did tire him out. This is a picture from the pier looking back toward the bar and the tiki huts, and right there in the middle you can't really see them, Paula, Taylor, and Landry relaxing. And this is a shot of the main area where the bar at the Reef Resort was and all the dining facility. This is the Pink House. We were down not very far from the Pink House, and the kids spent a lot of time playing in the tidal pools out by the Pink House. They had a real nice picnic table out on the pier that a lot of people used, and this actually was the table they used when they fed the fish. Here is Taylor and Landry taking pictures of each other. You can see the seaweed in the background. They actually did a pretty good job keeping it clean. Here's more paddling of Taylor. He did this a couple days and got pretty good at it. More shots of the group as they sat on the tiki hut watching him paddleboard. I love this. This couple on the left and on the right, they got married the next day, but they were so drunk that they just crashed on the beach. Here's a night shot looking out. We were at the Caribbean barbecue night. Taylor and Landry striking a pose for us. Here's Landry, and she got in her glass bottom kayak as she went out, and she was going to paddle around and take a look at what was going on. She did a pretty good job. I think this is actually the picture of them bringing the kayak back. Yep, that's what it was. There's Landry on the left, Taylor on the right, and there's the orange kayak in the picture too. There's Paula. It was pretty hot. She managed to do a pretty good job in all the heat. We had a little spot picked out right there in the shade. A lot of people there. Here we are at the tidal pool. This was kind of a neat place as the tide went out, and the kids really enjoyed going down and seeing all the varmints that were in the tidal pool. Landry walking along the beach and looking at all the little fish and then several of the other things that we found that are coming up in just a moment. The tidal pool actually turned out to be a kind of a fun place to go and see some pretty neat things, some fish and some eels, and here we go with some more picture taken up with the ocean in the background. Pretty good shots. I even got one of the two kissing each other in the ocean in the background. That's one to remember. And then Taylor couldn't handle it. He had to have us in there as well. So we got our pictures in there too. You can see the storm building in the back. It really did rain hard that night. Paula and Landry walking along, and in just a moment they're going to find a snake in the water, and both of them commenced to screaming. This was down by the pink house. There's Taylor standing out in the tidal pool. It was a lot of fun. It was really neat to see all the tropical fish and the tropical wildlife, and we spent about 10 hours a day, it seemed like, snorkeling. We actually didn't. We just snorkeled for a couple hours. There's the snake that Paula stepped on. It was actually kind of an eel. We happened to get a pretty good picture of it swimming away. She almost stepped on it and she screamed bloody murder. This is a picture at the back of looking through our hotel room, our condo. And there's the one that we have. We published big and stuck it in our Cayman Island picture frames that we bought. That's a good one too. This is over in the balcony looking outside of the Reef Resort. Paula and I also. We were getting ready to leave that day. It was kind of a sad day. We enjoyed it so much we didn't want to go. Notice the red faces. Yes, we were a bit sunburned. Uh-oh, snuck one in there. This is a picture of the storm coming in. Taylor had managed to monkey with the camera and really capture the colors in the rainbow. This is looking out on the balcony there at the Reef Resort. This is when we went to see the Barefoot Man. That's a good picture of them with those beautiful clouds in the background. Got a couple of water shots, Paula snorkeling. This is taken with my new camera. And this is something that we did for 3 hours at a time, twice a day, so it's quite a bit going on. Okay, coming up on the end of this slideshow, I've got another one that I'll do that has actual video that we took underwater. So thanks for watching.